If you want to master your executive presence, it can be done in 3 easy steps. These are the exact steps that I use with my coaching clients. For example, a senior associate at a law firm who wanted to present a more senior, credible, and confident version of herself. If you apply these steps to your own situation, you will be able to shift your presence from blending in with everyone else to standing out as an exceptional professional who has incredible potential in their career. As we go through this video, I want you to visualize these 3 components: how you show up, how you communicate, and how you make others feel, because these are the 3 main areas that you need to focus on when you are crafting and developing your executive presence. Let's start by looking at how you show up. What this essentially means is the impression that you give people every time you walk into a room, or the intent that you put forth in every interaction that you have. This could be a first impression, or it could be a subsequent impression. Regardless, your impression is something that you absolutely have control over, and you can change the impression that you give. For example, from somebody who is young, meek, and insecure to somebody who is confident, credible, and leadership material. And you do this by looking at these 3 areas: your clothing, your grooming, and your body language. These are the 3 main areas that will mostly contribute to how you show up. Now, how you show up will be different for everybody watching this video, because you all work in different industries, you all have a different profession, you are all in a different stage in your career, and your personal preferences will be different as well. So I can't tell you how to show up, but I can give you some guidance to get you started. For example, let's say you work in a traditional industry. So this could be banking, finance, law, or education. You are a mid-level manager, so this is somebody with 3 to 7 years of experience. And the issue that you are facing is that people don't pay attention to you. People don't listen to your advice, especially in meetings, and they certainly don't see you as somebody who has leadership potential. You want to change this. You want to change the perception that other people have of you, and you want them to see you as somebody who is experienced, who is competent, and who is confident as well. So you first look at your clothing, and from what you've read on executive presence and from what you've learned in podcasts and YouTube videos, you decide that you should wear solid colors, or at least clothing with minimal pattern, because this will not distract people from your main message. This will help people to listen to what you have to say, and it won't distract them from the content of what you want to tell them. You also decide that you want to lift your level of formality a little bit to make yourself look like you are a more senior professional. So you decide that suits will be good for you to wear more often in the office when they are suitable. And in times when they are not suitable, then you will just opt for tailored pants or a skirt and a blazer and a business shirt as well. The key here when it comes to your clothing is to ask yourself, does your clothing make you look like a senior leader or a senior professional? Or does it make you look like an entry-level employee? Because this is a common mistake that many emerging leaders make. You get into your career, you put together your outfits as an entry-level employee, and you don't realize that over the years, as you progress in your career, you have to step it up. You have to increase the level of formality, and you have to change some pieces of your clothing so that you look more like a senior professional or someone who has leadership potential. So I encourage you to look at the clothing you wear at work right now and ask yourself, is it clothing that makes you look like a senior professional, or does it make you look like an entry-level employee? As a side note here, I realize that this type of outfit I have just showed you isn't going to suit everyone watching this video. It might be too formal for a lot of you, and that's because you come from different industries, you have a different profession, you are at a different stage in your career, and your personal preferences are different too, like I mentioned before. So what I encourage you to do is, if you are from a creative industry, say marketing, advertising, PR, industries like that, then you can add a lot more color and a lot more pattern to your outfit as well. This is absolutely acceptable. If you work in a casual industry, so this could be health, it could be IT, it could be tech, those kinds of industries do lend themselves to clothing that is a lot more casual. So for men, you might want to wear jeans or a polo shirt or even a t-shirt. For women, you might also want to wear jeans or a tailored pant or a skirt and a cool t-shirt or a blouse or something like that. It's really about you tailoring your clothing for the industry that you're in, for the situation that you are in as well, and for the impression that you want to give other people. Next is your grooming. I'm going to go over this part really quick. So your hair, if you're wearing it up or whether you're wearing it down, it should be neat and it should be clean. Basically, you don't want to look like you have just rolled out of bed, you've just gotten dressed and then forgot to brush your hair. Your nails should also be neatly cut. They should be clean as well. And if you have painted nails, just make sure that the color you choose is not too bold and not too distracting either. Next is your body language, and the aim for the look that we are discussing here is that you want people to think that you are experienced, you are competent, and you are confident as well. And your body language should help you to reflect that. So you need to think about your posture. This is both when you are sitting and when you are standing. You should have good posture in both of those situations. Make sure that you don't lean. So when you're standing, don't lean against a wall. And if you're sitting, try not to slouch as well. And if you're standing, try not to slouch, because when you slouch or when you lean, this can make you look like you are bored, like you are not interested in the conversation, and also that you might be a little bit shy and lacking in confidence. Make sure you have your head high and good eye contact, especially when you're talking to people, because if you keep your head down, if you look toward the ground, this can often give people the impression that you are intimidated and that you are a shy person. Make sure you use open gestures, especially with your arms. This will give people the impression that you are warm, that you're welcoming, and that you're confident as well. So try not to fold your arms to close yourself off from other people, and try not to face away from other people when you are talking with them. When you carefully craft how you show up through your clothing, through your grooming, and your body language as well, you can give the impression that you want. And in turn, you can control how other people see you. To help you work out how you want to show up, I want you to answer this one question. What do you want people to think about you when you walk into the room? And from here, you can start to think about what clothing you want to wear, your grooming, and your body language as well, and start to design all of these elements so that they help you achieve this impression that you want people to have of you. Before we move on to the next part of this video, I want to thank everybody who has joined my channel membership. It means so much to me that you believe in this channel and that you are getting a lot of valuable advice from the videos that I create. So thank you so much for your support. How you communicate is the next area you need to focus on when developing your executive presence. This includes what you say and how you say it, because your executive presence will be detected from both of these elements. What you say includes the words that you use, the sentence structures, the go-to phrases that form a regular part of your communication. How you say it includes the speed, the volume, the intonation that you use. So do you use an upswing or do you use a downswing? It includes the pause and other non-verbal components of your communication, like your facial expressions and even your arm gestures. I would say that how you communicate is more important than how you show up. The reason for this is because most of what you do in your job and how you interact with other people at work is via your communication. It's how you share your ideas with other people. It's how you share your experiences with them. It's how you give them an insight into what you truly think and feel. And it's with this insight that other people can develop a deeper impression of who you truly are, of your executive presence. You can't really do this through your clothing or through your grooming, not to such a deep level anyway. Going back to the example I shared with you in the previous stage, you want people to see you as experienced, competent, and confident. You've already started to somewhat achieve this through your outward external appearance by working on how you show up. So when you walk into a room, people will start to develop this type of impression of you. Next, you need to continue conveying this impression through your communication. When looking at what you say for an experienced, competent, and confident executive presence, I recommend that you start to put effort into getting clarity of thought before you speak. Because clarity of thought will help you to speak with clarity, which will make you look like you know what you're talking about. This is something that you would expect from somebody who is experienced, competent, and confident. But getting clear on our thoughts doesn't come naturally naturally to most people. For many of us, we have to train our brain to reach a level of clarity in order to sound clear and articulate when we speak. For this, my biggest and best recommendation for you is to write. Write down what your thoughts are. Write down what your key message is. Write down what the key points you want other people to remember and walk away with. Writing is the best way to pull those messy thoughts from your mind, to organize them so you can communicate them in a structured and a coherent way. And in doing this process, you'll be able to choose the words that you want to use, the sentence structures that you want to use, and the phrases, etc., that you want to use when you are communicating. If this is something that you want to work on, then I highly recommend you watch this video up here. Become exceptionally articulate with super organized thoughts when you speak. Save it to your watch later list and watch it after this video, because we still have a lot of content to cover. When looking at how you say it for an experienced, competent, and confident executive presence, you need to use a speed that doesn't make you look nervous or stressed. When people are nervous and stressed, they tend to speak really fast. I think it's because they're worried about losing the other person's attention, so they want to get all of the information out there as quickly as possible. But in my experience, what this actually does is it forces people to tune out. Maybe it's information overload. I'm not quite sure, but I feel that it makes people tune out of what you're saying and tune out of the conversation entirely. Whereas when you speak in a calm and a paced way, it gives people the impression that you are in control of that conversation. It gives them the impression that you have something important to say, which helps you to hold their attention for a lot longer. You also want to use a volume that is loud enough. This means that you need to aim for a volume that is not too soft and not too loud either, because both can detract from the executive presence that you are trying to create. Using the pause selectively is another way to support an experienced, competent, and confident executive presence. It says that you own the conversation and that you're not afraid that someone's going to interrupt you if you pause for 2 to 3 seconds midway through speaking. And I want to share with you this brilliant book called It's the Way You Say It by Carol A. Fleming. Now, this book is full of so many valuable insights and tips in how to become a better communicator, how to be more well-spoken, how to become more articulate. I have read it myself. I've underlined so many parts in this book. I highly recommend that you read it. So if you want to check it out, I will put an affiliate link in the description below. Now, some of you may know, some of you might not know, I send out a weekly newsletter. This is where I share what I am thinking, what I am learning, and what I am reading. You also get links to the latest YouTube videos and the latest podcast episodes that I create as well. So you can sign up using one of the links in the description below. Now, you will get a free PDF download when you sign up via those links. One link will give you access to the Leadership Evaluation Toolkit. The other link will give you access to a how to become a go-to expert guide. So check that out below if you want to receive my weekly newsletter. Now, moving on, how you make others feel is the last part of the executive presence circle we've been looking at in this video. And it's a really important part because it's how you seal the executive presence that you have been building so far, so that your reputation as whatever you wanted your executive presence to be is solidified in the minds of the people that you interact with at work, and quite often in the minds of the people whom you've never even met. What do I mean by how you make others feel? Well, how you make others feel is basically the feeling that other people get after every interaction they have with you. It's how they feel about you. It's what they think of you based on that interaction. And this experience can help them to see your executive presence or not. It's achieved mostly through your interpersonal interactions. So, for example, your participation in meetings, your participation in group projects, and the interaction you have with other people in many different ways in the workplace. And the primary focus for this step is the other person. The other two stages we've talked about in this video, how you show up and how you communicate, the focus has been on you. But for this stage, we need to shift the focus to the other person and to how how they experience you. This is a really important part of executive presence. It is often neglected, probably because most of the teachings around executive presence doesn't cover it. Continuing on with the example that we've been using throughout this video, if you want your executive presence to be that you are experienced, competent, and confident, this needs to come through in your interactions with other people. So here are my recommendations. Don't judge or reject the ideas or the opinions of other people. Listen to them with an open mind, because this shows that you are not threatened by a potentially better idea and that you are not afraid of being wrong. Ask people questions to understand thoroughly what they are saying and what they're working on. Asking other people questions will make people feel that you're truly interested in them, and it will help them walk away with a positive image of you. Be willing to support others or help them with problems when they need it. This positions you as somebody who knows more, as someone who is an expert and is willing to build other people up. Set high standards for integrity and ethics in your own work. You can also extend this to expectations that you have of team members. So if you are a team leader or a team manager, you can use this as a guide to set expectations for how you want people in your team to interact with you and how you want them to interact with one another too. All of these ideas will help you to solidify your executive presence in the minds of the people you work with, so they think you are somebody who is experienced, competent, and confident. Of course, if you are a senior leader already and you want to build your executive presence, then this video here will help you out. If you are not yet a senior leader but you still want to work on your executive presence, then this video here will help you out. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next week in another video.